So, game number 3 here. Sorry, game number 2 here of a best of 3. Some more Zerg on Zerg. Spawning to the top right, representing Neurosoft. He's 1-0 up in this best of 3. We've got Roof. And to the lower left, battling to stay in the tournament at one of the last hurdles. Probably the most annoying round to go out in. The Teal Zerg, DaNa. Now, I said this is the most annoying round to go out in. Let me explain. In Monday night, go for SC2. First place and second place get some euros. First place also gets a spot in the monthly finals. Third and fourth, they get nothing. Effectively, you're playing one less series, and it's the difference between making no money from it and making either 50 or 25 euros, which is actually a decent sum of money, considering this has been going on for... Okay, it started about 2.5 hours ago. 2.5 hours for 25 euros, that's some good money coming second place here. Like, an hourly amount, that's nothing to, like, ignore. It's not I can't even speak now. Not a insignificant amount of funds entering your PayPal account. But talking a little bit too much about that, not enough about this game, I reckon. We've got Roof going hatch first this game. Meanwhile, DaNa yet again opening for that earlier spawning pool. So far, these two opening very similar to the first map. But as I said, there's a couple of key differences between Frost as a map and Habitation Station. Firstly, and probably quite obviously, it is a 4 spawn position map. So these two, as of yet, don't know where their opponent is spawning, only soon to discover that it's not to this bottom right hand spot. Next, because it's a bigger map, the rush distance is a lot longer. So the strategy Roof went for in game number 1 won't be as effective. The Lings, even though they're incredibly quick, still take longer to get across. The Roaches, that there was a follow-up, they take a really long time to move across the map without speed. And that buys DaNa more time in this map if a similar strategy is employed. On the flip side though, it means that macro-orientated play can be rewarded a hell of a lot better, if that's what you choose to do. But also, because it's not an ideal map for going very aggressive early on, if you do it, and your opponent for some reason doesn't scout it, doesn't see it coming, it can really catch them off guard, because they may be trying to go very economical themselves. So for the moment, DaNa just running 4 speedlings over. Just going to be coming to check, see what's going on. They are only slowlings, not speedlings, so aren't going to be able to do a huge amount. They're just mainly checking to see what's happening. Both players do have their natural hatcheries up, and DaNa actually draws first blood there with a drone kill. That's really nice, picking that down early on. Sees that 3 drones are still in gas, scouts the bailing nest timing, and this is some critical information for the Vega Squadron player, just to put up and plan the mid-game and how he's going to respond to this. Roof, really limited on information. Hasn't even scouted his opponent yet. Knows that he's in the bottom left and that it is cross spawns by deduction, but doesn't know what DaNa's doing. For all he knows, DaNa is going for a speedling all-in. Could be going for some roaches, could be rushing up into 2 base Mutalisks. All viable things that could be happening. What is quite interesting is DaNa takes the first 2 gases at his natural. Now, the 2 reasons this is a bit of a pain is because, first and foremost, it can throw your opponent off guard. If they don't get the scout in the main base, they're sat thinking, okay, is this 2 gases or 4 gases or 3 gases or what? And that's very different. Unfortunately for Roof, he's not going to do anything here, or shouldn't do anything here. There's the double the Evo Rotron, Double Queen, and Spine Wall off. Although if you make this many Banelings, you can still go through. DaNa, of course, seeing all of this come across, knows that there's a lot of Lings on the way. And without a Baneling nest, it's actually going to be a right nuisance, because these Banelings hit surprisingly hard. Lings come up, soak up the first wave of hits, down goes the Spine, a couple of Queens taking quite a bit of a beating. Transfuses coming through now from DaNa, and Roof being very aggressive. 1 Queen goes down, a 2nd and 3rd Queen will fall as well. More Evo Chambers trying to be built, and there's nothing left to defend. Roof racking up quite a few drone kills already, more going to be coming along the way. A couple of additional Banelings morphing in here, getting on the aggression even more. DaNa frantically trying to produce more and more Zerglings in order to defend this, but DaNa's Lings don't have speed. Baneling desperately trying to morph in. If that finishes, it'll be disastrous. But DaNa should now be able to hold this off. Has produced more Evo Chambers just to massively wall. But this is an emergency defense. That Evo Chamber wall isn't ideal. Without speed, these Lings can just keep on running about, having a bit of a fun time, doing whatever they so choose. And DaNa now has to pay a lot of attention to making sure that these Lings aren't allowed to kill off any more workers. And they're going to. Another worker killed, that takes it up to 8. And Roof is now up 36 to 26 workers, and thanks to a gap in the Evo Chamber, a couple of those Zerglings will escape away. So a pretty cool play by Roof there. Did some nice damage. DaNa looking to counterattack, but remember, there isn't a Baneling nest for DaNa. And because of this, well, defensive Banelings can be good. Going for the double Evo Chamber and Rotor and wall off is also very strong. It's just like, well, you can't come through my wall. It's a wall. And so DaNa's having to just sit back. Buys a bit of time. Once the Banelings are finished, well, hey, Queen can poke away at these Lings for quite a while. Once the Banelings are done, you just cancel one of the Evos, run on through with the Banelings if you so wish to, or wait for the Queen to just slowly pick this down. +1, missile attack is on its way. Not going to be forced to cancel. The Rotor nearly finished as well here. But it's the drone lead that really Roof is going to be most happy about. Sitting there, getting about an additional 100 gas per minute thanks to the 3rd gas geyser. The DaNa's seeing only on 2 currently. Lair timings. Lair is already finished for Roof, and it's not quite done yet for DaNa. And this is just painting us a nice little picture of Roof taking not a massive lead in any area, but just a little lead most places. And personally, I'm not sure if I would argue this, but I'm going to argue it because I've committed to it now. I'd say that if you get ahead a little bit everywhere, you're actually in a far better spot than if you just get ahead a lot somewhere. Because if you're ahead, say, massively economically, or your army supply is a lot higher, just a snapshot moment, unless it's enough to win the game, there's always the chance your opponent will level it out elsewhere or could take your advantage away from you. When you're just a little bit up all around, then that's when you can sit there and say, actually, it's going to be quite hard. I'm just ahead of my opponent overall. DaNa does have some advantages though. 20 seconds, 15 seconds ahead on the 3rd hatch. Roof knows about that, has an overseer in position. DaNa's also got a couple of Lings out on the field, but with 15 Roaches marching on by, coming to try and cancel this 3rd, these Speedlings for DaNa, they've got to do something nice. And considering that we've got 2 defensive Banelings in position for Roof, that's going to be quite tough, because defensively for DaNa, there really isn't much here. 12 Roaches are on the field, but note in this engagement, they're not there. While the concave is a bit better, Roof going for this. Takes down the Queen, still pushing forward, wants to get that hatchery if at all possible. Roof also running in with a couple of Speedlings. These soak up a few volleys from the Roaches and just really aid in this kite forward from Roof. Roof sitting a couple of Roaches ahead in this engagement, but of course defender's advantage still there. +1 on both sides, and so no easy upgrade lead. The counter-attack from the Speedlings, they haven't achieved anything, and this hatch, looking precariously low on health, should be able to get sniped down, and with it, DaNa runs into a bit of trouble. A few more Roaches getting picked off. In terms of being cost-effective, Roof trading better. But not only that, his economy is now really flourishing compared to that of DaNa's. Not really reflected massively by these graphs, but you can see that about 300 more minerals being mined a minute, and also more gas. That's only going to get bigger the longer this game goes on. Sure now, Roof losing a couple of Roaches, but it's buying time. And defensively, time is the one resource that Roof really wants. Because defensively, he can pump out more stuff. Remember what I was saying right at the start of this game. In terms of the time it takes Roaches to get across this map, you can get out an awful lot of stuff to defend with. So, still waiting. Still checking to see if there's going to be enough. Roach count 27 to 26. Just going in Roof's favour now. But 1-1 done for DaNa. In come these Roaches now. They're hugging up quickly. Quick little transfuse comes through here from Roof, using the Queen as well to get in on this fight. The numbers are still favouring Roof, and DaNa GG's out. Roof takes this series 2-0 and will be facing Snoot in the finals of tonight's Go for SC2.